Hello to all my Fox Hallow fam. I'm Dave and welcome to Baking with Fox Hallow Kitchen. We're posting this video on Christmas Eve, so we wanted to do something unique and special. Today's recipe is kind of a variation on a cinnamon roll, but instead of cinnamon, we're going to stuff these rolls with chocolate cookie crumbs and top them with a creamy frosting. These cookies and cream rolls are soft and delicious, perfect for a breakfast treat or any time at all. So if you're ready, then let's have some fun. First thing I'm going to do is I have a cup of milk that's about 115 degrees, according to my thermometer. I'm going to put it in a small bowl here. To that I'm going to add a tablespoon of sugar, if I can get it without spilling it. And we're just going to dissolve the sugar in the milk real quick here. There we go. Next, I'm going to put 1 packet of dry yeast and sprinkle it over the milk. And we're just going to whisk this until it's dissolved. And then we're going to let it sit for about 5 minutes to activate. And then we'll come back to it. Okay, now that our milk has set for about 5 minutes, we're going to add a stick of butter that's been melted.
Now, why do you want to melt the butter down?
So that it'll mix completely with the milk mixture. Otherwise, it won't mix up with it.
It will make it more creamy, right?
It'll make the milk creamy, yes. Okay, we got that. And we're going to add to that 2 eggs. And we're just going to whisk these together with a fork until we get it completely combined. You can smell that yeast from here. It's really good. There we go. And we're going to set this aside for a minute. Okay, I have just the bowl from my stand mixer so far. Stand mixer is standing by. I'm going to put 4 cups of flour in here. Half teaspoon of salt. And 5 more tablespoons of sugar. And just mix this together until it's combined. And then I'm going to take my milk and butter mixture from earlier, and I'm just going to pour this in here with all that yeast. And we're going to mix this together until we get a clump of dough.
Now, why are you doing it by hand first?
Just to make sure it gets all mixed, and then we're going to use the dough hook attachment to really get it, to mix it into a dough. I just want a clump of dough first.
So they'd be better off to do it by hand first and then let their dough be done with the dough hook then?
Yeah. Yeah, just till we get this all combined so it sticks together.
How heavy is the dough?
It's pretty good. It's a decent dough. For bread, it's going to be nice and fluffy. So that's good right there. And we move on to the next step. Alright, I've set this in my stand mixer and I've got my dough hook attachment on, and we are just going to mix this with our dough hook for about 5 to 7 minutes on medium-low speed just to get it completely doughed up here. Okay, our dough's looking really good here. I'm going to take this up. Oh yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to plop this into another bowl that's been greased up so it won't stick. And we're going to set it in a warm place and let it rise for about an hour until it's doubled in size. Okay, while our dough is rising, I'm going to take about 14 chocolate sandwich cookies and we're going to bust them up. So I'm going to throw them in my handy food processor here.
For those of our Fox Hallow family watching at home, and it being 2 days away from Christmas here, they want to know, would you leave these out for Santa Claus?
Definitely.
Do you think he would like these?
I think Santa Claus would love these rolls. They're nice and sweet, and they're chocolatey, so I think he's going to love them.
Would you have them with a glass of milk?
Definitely with a glass of milk.
Okay.
Absolutely. So we're going to break these up real quick here. Just a couple pulses. And that ought to do it. There we go. We have cookie crumbs, plenty for our filling. And we're going to move on. Okay, next up for our filling, we're going to take our stand mixer again. We're going to take 8 ounces of cream cheese here and throw it in there. It's already softened, it's at room temperature. And half a stick of butter, also softened.
So is that cream cheese or queen cheese?
It is cream cheese, not queen cheese. And a 1/4 cup of sugar. And using our paddle attachment, we are just going to cream this together.
So for our viewers at home, what are your big plans for Christmas this year?
Oh, Christmas, not a whole lot. We're going to Todd's mom and dad's for Christmas Eve, and then to my mom's for Christmas Day for dinner.
Are you excited for Christmas?
Yeah, absolutely.
Christmas is a lot of fun, right?
Christmas is fun. Okay, this is about done here. Okay, that is looking really good here. That is nice and creamy. And we're moving on to our next step. Okay, so our dough has definitely doubled in size. So I'm going to take this out of here real quick. Scoop it out of my bowl. It's a little sticky. And we're going to throw it on a lightly floured surface here. Get some flour there. And what we're going to do is we're going to stretch this, roll it, whatever we have to do to get it into a rectangle about a foot, about 12 inches by 18 inches. Whatever we have to do to get that pressed out that size. I'll try my rolling pin just a little bit here. See what happens. Yeah, that works. Flip this over. I don't want it to stick. And what I want is a rectangle. Again, 12 by 18 inches. Pretty square, as square as I can make it. And that looks pretty good. Next, we're going to take our cream cheese mixture that I just made, and we're going to spread it all over this. And give it like a border, about a 1/2 inch border all around, especially on the long edges. And we're just going to spread this out until we get it as coated as possible. Now that is pretty well spread out. The next thing I'm going to do is take my cookies that I crushed earlier, and we're just going to spread this all over the cream cheese mixture. There's a lot of it. Get it all on there. Again, we're going to leave about a 1/2 inch border all around, especially at the long edges, but I'm going to use all the cookies that I have.
Do you want to explain to why the idea of leaving the border?
Well, we're going to have to seal this when we roll it up, so we'll need a little bit of untouched real estate there that we can pinch it together into a log.
So you don't want the cookie crumbs into cream cheese? The whole way to the edge, right?
Correct. We don't want everything to go the whole way to the edge, particularly the long edge, because that's what we're rolling it up by.
So for our viewers at home, what are we doing here next?
Okay, our next step is we're going to roll up this dough into a log that's 18 inches long. Now this takes a little bit of patience. You want to roll it up into a tight log as much as possible. A little bit at a time. Get all those cookies in there.
So what did you ask for Santa for Christmas this year?
Oh, not much actually. I didn't ask for anything. I got a couple things, but I didn't really ask for anything. All right, we're getting to the end here. What we're going to do is we're going to pinch this off a little bit so that it seals. That's why we needed that extra ½ inch there. Give it a little bit of seal here. I don't know if it's working, but we're trying it. At these ends, square them up a little bit. And we're going to bring this back towards me a little bit. There you go. We're moving on. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut this log up into 12 pieces. You can use a really sharp knife, or actually I like to use dental floss. It works really well. We're just going to slip this under the end and bring this up here. I'm going to cut it in half first. Just eyeball it. And when you get it in half, just slip that out and it goes right through. And that's perfect. And then, since I want 12 pieces, I'm going to cut it in half again, each side. Okay. Try to eyeball it and get it exactly 1/2. Okay, and then each of these little logs I'm going to cut into thirds. Just going to get this right here. And as I cut each one off, I'm going to stick them in a buttered plate so that they don't stick. And I'm just going to keep cutting them. Yeah, look at that. We'll just keep doing this until we have 12.
After you get to 12, what are you going to do then?
We are going to let these rise again for about another hour, 45 minutes to an hour, until the rolls are touching. Set them in a warm place and let them rise.
What would be a good place to...
Oh, like on top of your stove, whatever you have a nice warm spot in your house. Doesn't have to be any place special. It just needs to be dry and warm. Not hot, just warm. Halfway done.
I can guarantee our viewers are probably going to want smell-o-vision with this because these smell amazing.
Yeah, you can smell the yeast and the chocolate. It's really amazing. And there you go. Those are beautiful. Like I said, we're going to let those rise for about an hour until they don't have to double in size this time, but they want to be smushed together a little bit. Next, we are going to bake these at 350 degrees for 30 to 35 minutes until they are golden brown on top. To make our icing, I'm going to start with 3 cups of powdered sugar. To that, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of salt. And we're going to whisk this together. That's good. And then I'm going to add 1/3 of a cup of milk, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and 2 tablespoons of melted butter. And we're just going to whisk this together. Now, honestly, I think I need a little more powdered sugar here because this is a little runny. So I'm going to add more. I'm just going to add a little bit at a time until I get the right consistency here. Maybe even a little more than that, about that much again. Yeah, that's more like it. And there we go, we have a nice frosting for the top. And we're going to go ahead and put that on our rolls. Before we put the frosting on the rolls, I'm going to take about 5 or 6 of those chocolate cookies in a bag, and I'm just going to crush them up really good. We don't have to make them like a crumbs the way we did originally. We're just going to crush these up. We don't need them to be that fine like the filling was. That should be good enough. And hold on to those for a little bit. Our rolls are still a little bit warm, so I'm going to take a spoon with the frosting that we made, and I'm just going to spoon it over top of all of these. Isn't that wonderful? Just going to go over top of all of them. It'll melt a little bit onto the tops of them. Make sure I get the ones in the corner. That looks really good. So now I'm going to take my crumbs that I made earlier in the bag, and I'm going to sprinkle these over top.
So once again, for everybody at home, do you think Santa would enjoy these?
Oh, I think Santa's going to love these. Perfect for that ride. Get the last little bits out here. And that is it. Our rolls are done. And now for the most amazing part, the taste test. So here we go. I'm going to get off a little bit of this roll. Oh, it's flaking right apart on my fork. Oh, that is a nice yeasty roll, and the cookies and cream are fantastic. You guys are going to love this. Wrapping up today, I want to thank you all for joining us and encourage you to check out our friends and support channels listed in the descriptions below. But before I go, always remember, good times and good food on Baking with Fox Hallow Kitchen. We'll see you soon.
If you like this video or any of our other videos,
Be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons and stay tuned for future shows.